Hello and welcome to the 35th episode of Press the Action Button podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bit of a surprise for you that we kind of teased last week at the end of the episode where we said a certain someone might be coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, it
Justin
is
Bieber.
D-Pad. Say hello, D-Pad.
No, I'm not really Justin Bieber. But
Thank God.
we were just about to watch the part from South Park where Justin Bieber gets crushed by Cthulhu. It would have been hilarious to see, but our internet sucks, so we'll just have to wait. Anyway,
Yeah,
welcome
first up
back.
at it.
Hi guys, I'm D-Pad. I'm still D-Pad. How's it been?
Not an analog stick yet. We're still D-pad.
Yeah, our internet does suck. Half the time it takes me less time to load shit up on my fucking phone than it does on our crappy ass internet, and that is sad.
I'm 11 years old and I've been filming you.
You tell the people hi, Gameface.
Hey guys, I have some bad news. D-pad, I heard from the doctor today. They're going to have to amputate your butt. But here, have a Newcastle Brown Ale.
Well, I don't feel so bad anymore. This really is the lighter side of dark.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh man. Alright, what are we doing? Are we cracking these things open?
We can now. It is kind of late. Let's just cut straight to the chase. I've been sitting here looking at the six-pack on my desk for the last half hour while we talked about funny things. Man, that didn't fizz much. Freaking English beer.
Okay, now your turn, I suppose.
Okay, I'm gonna pour mine into a nice, well, it's not a frosty mug, but it's a mug nevertheless. I let the bottle cap kind of falling back into the six-pack so I get some extra noise. But here, you're bound to hear a little bit of this.
That's not beer at all, guys. We're actually doing this podcast in the bathroom.
It frothed up anyway, so I got it.
I could have fucking told you it was frothed up. You poured it like the worst absolute
Directly
way.
down.
Yeah, you're just asking for it to froth up if you're doing
I
that.
have one free hand. If
I don't-
tip the mug with the bottle, it would be dangerous.
You could have, like, had someone else help you with the microphone there.
No, you.
Your mom.
Your face.
But not D-Pad's mom.
Wow.
It's the same
That
mother.
made my brain hurt.
No, Game Face is all about the head anyway. You know what I tried? You know what I tried just this weekend that
What?
actually turned out really good? I bought Jolly Scott
That's
Red Ale.
who makes that? ABC?
No,
There you go.
Appalachian Hero.
Yeah, that's ABC.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then yes.
You twonk. Let's listen in while
Oh,
Joystick
oh.
pumps this
Microphone!
bottle. Yeah.
Let's use both microphones for this.
Okay.
In stereo.
Top poppin' and stereophonic sound. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. It's good to be back. I just wanted to.
This podcast certainly missed you, man. I mean, we've had to jump from one person to another. We've had episodes with a whole bunch of people. Andrew was here for some.
Last time it was Jason.
Tim was here for some. Jason was here for a couple. Chris was here for a couple, you know.
Freaking Slate was here for a couple.
Yeah.
And now he's in jail.
True fucking story. Slate, is he in jail or is he in prison?
Oh, heck, I don't know. What's the difference? Jail, I guess. The lesser
Jail
of
would
the
be
two
what you
evils.
went to. Prison is like where they send criminals,
I guess it's jail then.
Are you asking if it's state or county?
basically. I mean,
There was a parody. You guys remember the song Country Grammar by Nelly? There's a parody of that called Country Slammer, and it was like George W. Bush like rapping about his election in 2000. It's funny.
That does sound funny now. Like, did he go to jail?
No, he's talking about like the death penalty in Texas.
Oh,
It was funny because it's like boom, 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 election.
Nice.
It's like way deeper than what it actually sounds like, though. Still,
Is it wrong that I actually don't have anything against the death penalty?
Hell no, I don't have anything against the death penalty either.
no.
It kind of like.
I'm kind of surprised that you, of all people, are not against it.
Oh, I think for most people, for most criminals at least, like if they know they're the one who killed somebody, they'd rather just get it over with than spend 20 years in a stinking jail.
The way I look at it is if you go out and you repeated murder and shit, you can kill somebody on accident or whatever, or defending yourself. You don't deserve to die for that, but if you're gonna go out there and murder somebody or be a serial murderist or whatever, yeah, fucking go get electrocuted in a chair.
I'm seriously, bring back the chair, repeal the death sentence, bring back the electric chair, make it public, and put little fireworks in their heads so it gives them people more of a show when they're watching.
Hey, remember your idea for when they...
This is why I missed you. Respect Knuckles. Respect Knuckles!
Do you remember when you had your idea for when they legalize euthanasia?
Oh.
When they legalize euthanasia and you wanted to start
legalize euthanasia.
What did I call it?
Legalize euthanasia.
I said it backwards when I first presented the idea.
I think you were
Eugalization.
This is just legalize euthanasia.
But what did I call it? The Big Bang Theory or the Off with a Bang?
Something like that.
I don't know. I feel like if I wanted to be euthanized, I'd want to be strapped to a giant rocket and have everybody watch and clap as I sail out over the sea and explode.
Hey, that could be a business. You know they have.
Some people say it's really morbid. I think
they
it would
can
be,
press. They
insane.
can press a person's ashes into a gem that you can wear as jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre, but hey, people do it. You can actually pay to get your ashes launched into space, either for a 100-year out orbit, 1,000-year orbit, or forever.
Forever, yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Huh. What about, can they launch you into the sun?
Probably.
I'm just picturing some rich woman who had dogs that she is big, dogs and has a dog, and then she's like, "You see there? They're right there. That's Froofy. That diamond is Froofy. I certainly miss Froofy, but
that's peanut butter. That's gemstone. That's emerald. That's gonorrhea. That one's Toby. That one's Ganji. That one's Nikolai. Mordecai."
oh.
I'm just picturing some old lady with as much rings on them as Mr. T, and each one has its own name. And wow. So, I'd rather that than a crazy old cat lady, honestly.
Yeah. So except
you don't want a woman chasing you down the streets and throwing cats at you like on The Simpsons.
That could be a bad guy from a video game, like the crazy old cat lady who shoots cats at you.
No, really, that was on The Simpsons. There was the crazy old cat lady who chased Lisa away from her house by throwing cats at her.
You know what's weird about some old women like that is they'll go off on something and you cannot in any way, shape, or form, even by being blunt, express that you're not interested. I remember Chris's...
I don't know. I figure once I'm old, I'm probably going to do that to people too.
So it's a lot like talking to Colin?
Oh! Chris's stepmom once took me aside and said, look at this. I got something to show you. She takes out this compact disc, the CD-ROM. She's like, all the x-rays I've ever had taken of me. All on that CD. And I was like, oh wow, all of them? She's like, yeah, it's amazing what they can do with optical technology now. And I was like, that's cool. And she leaves it sit there and a few minutes later, I'm sitting in the kitchen talking about something. I was talking to Chris, and as she's walking out of the room, she says, "By the way, Alex, if you were going to take that and look at it, just bring it back next time you come over." I was like, "What?
You don't want to look
I'm
at your
not going to take your
bones.
X-ray home with me."
Maybe if you were pursuing a job and
Yeah.
sources.
Needed it as a primary source.
Yeah.
Oh, our audience probably hasn't heard about James D'Angelo.
Oh, James D'Angelo!
hear the
You know, I
story?
have relatives out there.
Did you hear the story?
I heard he got fired on the basis of being a dude.
Oh, that's some funny
Tim
shit.
texted me at work and said James D'Angelo got fired, and I was like, "What? Really? Man, I didn't think they were ever going to let him go." Fortunately, I think he still has another job at the airport. Yeah, but Tim said when he asked why they fired him, somebody responded because for being a douche.
Best reason ever.
I feel bad for him.
I'm not gonna have my paychecks lie on the fate of a whimsical. What did he say?
He said, "I'm not going to have my hours depend on the whims of management."
No whims of management. Oh, we were saying when he used to work at Technosource, and I was at Technosource when I heard this message, and I wanted to go around telling people because he apparently when he used to work there, he used to just talk to people. He would solve the issue very fast. He knew a lot about computers. He would fix the issue, but then he would spend the next 90% of the phone call just talking, and customers would say like, "Yeah, who was that guy? He fixed my issue, but he's just weird. He's got a really annoying voice, and he just talked." And one thing that he was notorious for being like, "Oh well, where are you guys located?" "Oh, Ontario? You know, I have relatives out there." So we decided that the D'Angelos are actually a hive mind. They're all very strange, but they're very intelligent, and they're all psychologically linked. So eventually, there's one person everywhere, in every state, all with a different profession. So eventually, they're all going to regroup.
There's a D'Angelo working for 5-Star.
I don't doubt it. There's probably a D'Angelo where Paul works as well.
Probably. Let's call him in here. No.
No, that's, you guys want to get to the first topic?
Yeah, you see, about that.
It's going to be about your breakfast and how it consisted of watermelon.
That's my favorite James D'Angelo quote ever. He just...
Priapism.
Priapism.
I thought it was
An erection. You were close. An erection lasting 4 or more hours. But no, my favorite, aside from that...
long-ass boner!
That's what she said. Hey, chicka bop bop. Aside from his constant references to priapism and gout, my favorite thing he ever said was the machinery shut off at FedEx when I used to work with him, and I looked over to see if he was, because he had been like stressing over something like just like a few minutes prior to that, and the belt shut off, and I looked over to see if he had cooled down a little bit, and he's just looking off into the distance, and he senses that I'm making eye contact with him, and he looks over at me, and with no rhyme or reason just goes, "My breakfast today consisted of watermelon," and I just lost it. I mean, fortunately he didn't take offense to that, but I couldn't even restrain myself, because it was just so random.
Apparently after you quit there, I took his place. You know, I went down to work on splits, and his friend Chris, what was that kid's name?
Schuster?
Chris Schuster. Yeah, he was telling me, he was like, oh yeah, James D'Angelo. He said to me the other day, he was like, you know, now that Alex is gone, I don't have anyone to share my cooking tips with.
He did give me a lot of cooking tips.
Cooking tips like wrapping all of Thanksgiving dinner up in a burrito. Mashed potatoes and turkey and corn.
That does sound like something he would do, and it also sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome, actually.
But no, I was talking about he got like tilapia fillets from Aldi for like $1.29 a piece, and like we like sauteed them. And I actually did that once with some peppers and garlic and a little bit of soy sauce. And yeah,
Warrior!
to get poked.
Let's all get folked on these topics. We're going so far off topic, we need to be folked.
We be folking tonight.
Everybody take your jet, Jack, because we need to get folked on these topics.
We need to go into these topics with a fakum.
Fuck.
Shafaku.
There you go. I knew that wasn't quite right.
was
Shafaku. Alright, let's jump into this fray with a quote, Shafakum, end quote.
Brilliant. It just doesn't get much better than that.
EA CEO John Riccitiello believes that digital sales of games will surpass sales of physical copies by the end of 2011.
Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Day, everybody, by the way.
That has nothing to do with the topic, but okay.
Well, I wanted to be politically correct.
I saw someone say Happy Martin Lawrence Day today, and I was like, what? It was Keith Apicary.
Of course it's Keith Apicary.
Neo Geo. 4 right buttons and 2 joysticks. Anyway, I don't want this to happen. I mean, digital sales are fine, especially for downloadable content and stuff.
I wouldn't say by the end of this year.
But I don't want them to surpass that because, you know what? I like having physical copies of all my games and movies and CDs and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a status thing almost.
It's part of you. Like I just went on a binge on like Black Friday. I went and I bought all these movies and shows that I've already seen all of them. It's because it's a
Didn't
part
you get
of
a high definition? Didn't you get a high definition TV and a PS3?
it. Yes, I did. But that
I
was
didn't know you
PS3.
got a new TV.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, that was on Black Friday. But it's actually pretty much the same size as my computer monitor, which is kind of embarrassing and awesome.
Well, that's still
Embarrassing.
cool, though. I mean, you get your moved into the high definition generation, so there you go.
Honestly, I don't really pick up on the difference too much when I'm in the heat of the moment of a
Yeah,
video
yeah,
game.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I just see it and I play it. The only reason why it helps is like with a lot of new games,
Text.
especially first-person shooters, not only text, but like you have to have a keen eye because it's not really moving from room to room anymore. Like you have to figure things out. You have to notice small little buttons or switches underneath the table.
Oh, like when you played Majora's Mask and there was that red dot on the horizon, and you're like, oh, maybe I have to shoot that thing, but I don't even know what it is. And it turned out to be Tingle. It's like you see this red dot on the horizon. It's like maybe I have to
There's
shoot
your
that
No, I think that was my.
thing. No, it wasn't.
It's too long.
He shoots it and it's way off in the distance, and of course when you shoot Tingle's balloon, it zooms way in on him. He didn't know what it was, he just shoots it, and then he's like, in the heat of the moment, like in the serious gameplay, and boom, it just zooms over like mountaintops, and there's this retarded looking elf just floating in midair, and
He's
it's
like-
like,
he's like
a brain shocker.
Tingle looked like he was like 45, dressed in a little suit, like he plays with fifth graders on their way home from school. I don't even think I meant to shoot him. I think it was just a stray arrow, and like all of a sudden it zooms in and like time stops for a minute so I can watch Tingle fall.
Are you suggesting that Tingle is John Wayne Gacy?
No, I'm suggesting that he's Artie from P&P.
There you go. The strongest man in the world. There you go. Okay, anyway. Another thing that I wonder about this is, are we so lazy as to more than half of us are going to buy all our games digitally instead of actually getting up off our couches, driving to the store, and buying the fucking game?
I personally derive a certain amount of satisfaction from watching the little rectangular shaped boxes, just kind of stack up in my little
Collection.
in my little meager little collection there. And now, I never really collected DVDs because I lived with my parents for so long. And when I was in college, I just, kind of bummed DVDs from other people. And I only maybe a year ago started actually accumulating a DVD collection. And it's only about maybe 15. What would you say? Like
He started liking movies enough to buy them on DVD.
I always
after
loved-
meeting me.
I always loved DVDs. I mean, I always loved movies. I just never really had any reason to collect mine. But
Well,
I mean, look at
I
that
did-
Genesis collection over there. Is that impressive? Well, most of them are yours.
yeah,
so
most of those
but
are mine.
Still, it's just it's just visually pleasing.
I love how you have one videotape.
That you got that for me.
I know I did, but I love how it's just one
Just kinda
videotape
jut
sitting
out
in
there.
with all the other stuff. It looks kind of fun.
Yeah, it does. It's the Page Master.
Yeah, I picked it up because A, it was free. B, he said he likes the movie.
I remember enjoying it. I mean, I've only seen it like, maybe twice or maybe
Well,
three
we just
times.
came here, and then fucking Mary was watching it, and you said I kind of like this movie. So then I saw
it's
it
a
for
good
free,
movie.
and I was like, hey, Alex said he kind of liked this movie, so I'll pick it up.
VCR. Oh, I lent my VCR to my dad for some reason.
Why does your dad need a
He's
VCR?
got
don't
100
know.
VCRs at that house. He's got 100 VCRs and
Dad.
one DVD player.
Took our Keanu Reeves board. Remember the Keanu Reeves board, the big
Plank.
plank with the angry face on it?
Yeah.
It just said there is no spoon.
Yeah, it
bunch
did
of
a better
exclamation
job
points.
acting than Keanu Reeves did in Matrix 2.
And we had that thing sitting in the basement for a month, and it was well, hey, what's that thing there? Well, it's the Keanu Reeves plank. And then one day it was gone. And I look out in my backyard, and my dad had driven 2 like roofing spikes through it and wedged corn cobs onto them. So it was like a goalpost
field goal.
made of Keanu Reeves and corn.
Right. I think that was to, what was it?
And
to
it's sitting on
attract,
top of this kayak. I was like, what is it?
What was it to attract birds?
Squirrels.
Squirrels.
Keep squirrels away from the plum tree. Neo, Geo, 4 white buttons and 2 joysticks.
Right button.
Neo, Geo, cool red cabinet that fits.
Page Master. I saw that in theaters.
Really?
The critic didn't like it. The nostalgia critic didn't like it. Page Master.
See, there's not a whole lot of things that the nostalgia critic does like. I mean,
He
like,
didn't like the Mario movie.
oh,
He didn't like the Mario movie. Neither did I, really. But
Oh, I love the heck out of that movie.
But
That movie sucks.
It sucks so good. I love
that's
it.
why. Yeah, that's why I love it.
Did you know there was an animated Mario movie released only in Japan?
That sounds bad.
So it was like
Both
the
it
Super
pays
Mario
a whole
Brothers.
lot more close. It actually pays attention to the source material.
Oh, so it's like accurate. It's not like
Yeah, Bowser actually looks like Bowser.
Bowser. He's not just a dude.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis
Monkey.
Hopper. What is that, Dennis Hopper?
Yeah.
Oh, same as Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, he was in so many good movies, and then he was in Waterworld and Mario.
I heard Waterworld is terrible.
Seriously,
I haven't
that's
seen
one of my
Waterworld.
favorite post-apocalyptic movies ever.
It's a B movie, you know. It's just worth seeing. I mean, it kind of sucks. But the only thing that sucks about it is
how
that it was
can
a
you call it a B movie
with
when
an
they
A
spent?
movie budget.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can you call it a B movie with
Yeah,
a
it
budget
wasn't-
that big?
It wasn't necessarily a bad movie.
ICP.
Being a bad movie is the myth, really. But what is factual is that it was one of the biggest wastes of money in the box office ever. Like, they spent a huge, enormous budget on it, and nobody really went to see it. Like, it got horrible reviews. And then gradually, over time, it
Way to go,
got a
man.
cult following. What's up? That's my phone.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. Getting back to fucking Genre to tell him what he's saying about this. Oh, what? Oh, what?
It's this guy without a message, an answering machine. He's been calling me. We've been playing phone tag like all day. Do you guys want to have him on the podcast here?
Who is he? Yeah, sure.
His name's Casey. Don't worry, he plays video games.
Okay. Does he have the
Hello?
capacity to geek?
Hello? Hang on, hung up on me.
Dude, did you broke it?
Anyway, yeah, I really do
He
not
geeks.
want
He's a
digital
capacity.
game sales to surpass
It won't.
physical, and I hope it never does.
Dude, they
because
said the same thing about magazines. You know what's funny? Ever since e-magazines have caught on,
Yo,
physical
Casey.
magazines sales have actually gone up.
Oh, well, I'm not speaking in my phone, actually. I have a question, though. Hey, let me put you on speakerphone. Hello?
Hey Casey.
What's that?
This is Alex.
That's my brother. Hey, I got a question. Do you want to be on a podcast?
I want to be on a podcast.
Yeah.
What?
Video game news.
It's a video game podcast called Press the Action Button. We do it every week.
Where did this come from?
Oh, we're doing it right now,
Came
actually.
from the gods and was passed down to the greatest man, a myth, legend, if you want to call him that, of all time. Simply to return the message to us today to begin the podcast that is Press the Action Button.
How did I do all that and not know it?
Okay, well,
Because now I am like freeing myself out. Apparently I had that.
dude, God must work in mysterious ways.
I know.
Anyway, you're on the podcast now, actually.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
You may become famous tomorrow, so don't, you know.
Don't say anything embarrassing like yourself. My cousin not so hopefully.
Right. Don't blame us if, you know, like ladies end up showing up at your door and they're like, hey. And you're like, no, I'm married.
For the sake of this podcast, I'm supposed to be single. Wink, wink.
There you go.
Don't worry, only the whole internet will hear you.
Not like you're posting on Facebook.
The small portion of the internet that actually listens to this. It's probably amounts to 15 people.
You
hey,
could say Oingo Boingo Lollipop Salad.
did you get all that?
That again.
Oingo Boingo Lollipop Salad.
Boingo, boingo, lollipop salad.
There you go, you're
Yeah.
famous. You're a sensation.
That Star is Born.
Now you get to meet the chocolate rain guy and the dramatic stare gopher. Okay, what's our first...
What about the Numa guy?
Oh, Gary
No,
Wilson.
I think he had a heart attack or something. Anyway, what's our first topic? We'll get you in on the first topic.
We already covered that.
We already covered the first topic.
What's our second topic?
Let's see.
Stop, don't get it.
3DS details have been released from the conference going on over there. 3 to 5 hours of battery life. Friend codes from the Wii are back. Region encoding, which is the very first time that they've done that on a Nintendo handheld to my recollection. I know that the normal DS, and its 7 iterations now, did not have region encoding. And then basically you have to hold it perfectly still to get the 3D to work.
You heard about the 3DS?
Yeah, now we have it even like slightly to the side or slightly diagonal. You basically have to look at it from like
Dead on.
Look
Right.
at it from this direction. If you don't, then change it for a refund.
It is made of socks.
Apparently, not only is there for that crap, but we found this something that you're not used to receiving.
Huh? You think it?
Visual effects, not actual 3D. Go to Sony, they think better.
So
And
really,
plus they have the Kevin Butler.
Sony?
Yes, Kevin Butler is amazing. He is the man.
And a hat.
Huh.
What?
All right. So you're saying you think it's a
I
ripoff?
have moved into a family. I will move into someone else's family. And I have the PlayStation move myself.
The PlayStation Move?
He's talking about Kevin Butler now.
Oh.
Move into a family.
That's probably what I would have done.
The storyline for Kevin Butler was that
Hang on. Microphone check.
the storyline for Kevin Butler was that he was going to spend like 90 days or something with a family, and he had the PlayStation Move with him. He was going to get them all to play it. And he didn't tell them this prior to showing up at their house, so he's like, I'm going to be there for 90 days. Wait, what?
Kevin Butler, huh? Did you know that Justin Bieber got squished by Cthulhu
52 times.
52 times? Alright, well, anyway, so you're saying the DS, you think it's going to be a big rip-off, like the 3D, that it just isn't worth it?
I think we've established that, Deepak.
So it's just a gimmick. I don't know. I might use.
You're going to have to pay
The proposed price.
At first.
The proposed price for it is what? $300? That's more than the
That was more than the Wii.
PlayStation Portable was at launch. That's more than the Wii was at launch. Why is it so expensive?
I don't know. Rich people will buy it, and then the poor people will just mooch off the rich kid.
It's like a Sega 32X. Except the 32X at least it's gonna have like one game that's worth buying for it. Just
Yeah.
like Virtual Boy. Just like the 32X with Knuckles Chaotix.
Yeah.
They're going to bring the Dreamers, they're going to bring in Mario, and they're going to bring Pokemon.
Oh, there
And
will be
Zelda-
3D Pokemon games.
Holy cow.
And
There'll probably be there's going to be a version of the Ocarina of Time for it.
Okay, now that is pimp sauce and a half.
That is Prince
Because of awesome. Enjoy Tony.
No. Oh, Casey, no.
At this point, they might as well just join Xbox.
Whatever it takes for Zelda to survive. But seriously, I hope he fights for Nintendo till the bitter end.
I think
He'll
you
rock
just came up with
that shield and sword.
I think you just came up with the plot for the next Zelda game. It's him defending Nintendo Corporation.
And then it'll turn out to be like
Well, the
Final
good news
Fantasy
is that
Save-
prior to the 3DS, which might honestly be a flop because of how much how much negative things they've said about it at this point, and the specs on it and whatnot. But the good news is that Nintendo will survive because the Wii prints money.
I have to give it to the Wii, but the thing is, this is not the Wii. This is another portable system. It's going to swap, and within like a couple months later, they're going to bring out another version.
They always do that. They always I mean, how many versions of the Game Boy were there? Or the Game Boy Advance were there? What, 4?
Mhm.
I lost track.
Even
I
with the Game
remember
Boy
the Game
itself.
Boy Advance.
The last
That
one
was
was
a
what?
great
The Game
system.
Boy Micro? And it was like tiny, and I saw
Oh, I
people
know, it
fucking
looked
wearing those things as necklaces around their fucking neck.
I remember that thing.
No, but I don't think a lot of people are going to buy this DS just for the simple fact that it's not even a hardcore system whatsoever.
I don't know, the DS, like they tried to make it hardcore.
Well, the DS has a lot of good hardcore games for it.
It was kind of an attempt to bring back old school Nintendo, you know?
But you're not hardcore.
But you're not hardcore!
Unless you live hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore!
But the legend of the rent was way hardcore.
But fucking the normal DS though sold what, 120 million?
Like a podcast or video game.
Oh no, this podcast
Yeah, we do that.
is a freestyle. It's, we spent the first half hour just talking.
Making fun of this guy we used to work with who got fired on the basis of being a quote unquote being a douche.
Oh, James D'Angelo. Oh, well,
We can do that.
oh, we
we
could
can arrange that.
we do it on Sundays, except for today. Wait, why didn't we do it yesterday?
Because
You were moving.
Oh yeah, you guys had to help me move.
I offered to help you move.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, yeah, all I have is a
And
bread.
it wasn't. It was like the whole room.
And then it was like, all I have is a bread, and then I gotta go back twice and get a whole bunch more crap.
And then Turnball's gonna talk my ear off about whatever it was.
Yeah.
That he talked about. He should be on a show sometime.
You realize
Some
they
of the
can't
other
hear you when you
topics.
talk like that.
I was just saying, Chris Turnball should be on this show sometime. He'd be obese as square.
We need to get out of here, Josh. Remember Josh?
Josh Henson. You mean Hollywood? Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna be? Are you gonna be Dragon Fist Casey? You have to have a nickname. You have to have a nickname to be on. Go for it.
That works. That works.
All right. Well, Dragon Fist, you can call this your audition and consider yourself a member.
I also have a recommendation.
Right. You still need to show up for training though.
We're gonna
before,
need the two
you know,
forms of
Before
ID.
you actually, 2 forms of ID and then check your background.
And
also.
alcohol. Make sure you bring alcohol. We never do a podcast without alcohol.
My resume recommendation.
Preferably pixelated resume.
Yeah, 8-bit resume.
Hey!
There we go. Hey, that's a good idea.
There should be a band called 8-Bit Resume.
Resume, yeah, that is a good idea.
Say that again, but you didn't have the microphone.
Friday, great.
There should be a band called 8-Bit Resume.
Let it be known. All right, well, Casey, I'd love to stay and chat, but do you want me to call you after the podcast?
Sure, call me on this number.
All right, man. What are we at here? We're halfway through. We usually do an hour. We've still got a half hour left. But anyway,
We've
thanks
still
for being
got
on
3
our show,
topics.
Thank you.
man. All right, ladies and men. Wait, I'm just giving you a proper exit. Oh, okay. Well, please, we don't want a bloodbath tonight. Especially a canine bloodbath. It's the worst kind.
Right down.
What?
Ladies and
down-
gentlemen,
write down
that
8-bit
was
resume.
Dragon Fist
For,
Casey.
for
Good night.
the name of this episode.
Gotcha.
Dragon Fist Casey. He's
Dragon
a
Fist
good
Casey.
Well, he seems pretty cool. Like, he also seems fairly knowledgeable about video games, what's going on with the industry.
Knowledgeable is the right word to define that
So,
kid.
I mean,
He geeks. He has the capacity to geek.
The geek was strong with him.
you punched me on the boob! Random quotes from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That movie's amazing, isn't it?
I was hanging out with him Saturday, and
What?
he said the quote, "I gave her a haymaker and the baby maker," and we all laughed at that. And then he said, "Upper cunt."
Oh, it's such a great movie. Anyway,
Hang on. While you guys are doing your podcasty thing,
you're part of it, dingus.
Of course I am. What was that thing you called? It's like the 9 degrees of Wikipedia, where you take any article and you try and get from that to sexual intercourse.
I don't think there's a name for it. We just call it the Wikipedia game. But it's not any form of degrees. Like we've done it in as little as 3.
I'm gonna try and get from the unification of Germany to sexual intercourse.
Okay, go for it. Try if you can link something.
Can we move to the next topic, though? Because, I mean, we still got 3.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and we got 20 minutes left. Okay.
Fear 3 has been pushed back from March 22nd to May. No set date was given. They said they pushed it back to, quote, deliver the best game possible, end quote. It's not a huge delay, but it's a couple months. And this is a game I am really anticipating because I liked Fear 1 and Fear 2. Fear 2 wasn't quite as good as Fear 1, but they're both great games. I really enjoyed them. And it kind of sucks having a game you're really hyped about delayed like that. But I suppose if it results in a better game, it's ultimately worth it, right?
You don't want to rush. You don't want to have them rush anything, like they did with Fable.
Or Knights of the Old Republic 2.
No, but
Good
Fear
game, but-
Fear is fantastic. Fear legitimately scares me, and I don't usually get scared. From
Neither do I, but Fear scared me.
Fear scared me. Like, and it's not like jump out and spooky scary. It's like psychologically scary.
Mm-hmm.
Another game I'm working on. I'm playing through BioShock right now. That game isn't what I would call scary, but it's fucked up.
I wasn't a big fan of
You didn't like
BioShock.
BioShock?
Well, it's largely because I played System Shock 2, and all BioShock is System Shock 2 underwater. I mean, it's steampunk instead of cyberpunk, and that's like the major difference. That and System Shock 2 was just more in-depth.
System
Yeah,
Shock? What's that
System
for?
Shock 2 for PC. But when I played BioShock, I'm like, this was a great game 10 years ago when they called it System Shock. And that was my reaction to BioShock. So I wasn't that impressed with it, but a whole lot of other people were. And I think that has a lot to do with a whole lot of people didn't play System Shock 2.
Yeah, they're doing that nowadays. They're taking good things that nobody heard of and just turning them into slightly stupider things that everybody heard of.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm really excited for Fear 3. You know who they've got is like a creative consultant or whatever on Fear 3. John Carpenter.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think he's a good choice, because I really like a lot of John Carpenter's horror flicks. I mean, The Thing. Who doesn't like The Thing? The Thing is awesome. And The Fog was cool. Halloween was cool. Of course, he's got some other non-horror movies that are great as well. Like Big Trouble in Little China was awesome.
That was that was John Carpenter.
Yeah, it was. He did. Oh yeah.
Awesome movie.
Nice.
He did.
Lopan can make any movie great.
Yes. That was on.
Lopan, Superman, and every single
Power Ranger.
Bill S.
Cap-
Preston and Theodore Logan.
Spock, the Rock, Doc Ock, and Hulk Hogan. And what is it? Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White and Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
Black Knight.
Benito Mussolini and the Blue Meanie, Cowboy Curtis and John B. the Genie, Captain Kirk,
What Cowboy Curtis?
RoboCop the
RoboCop the Terminator, Captain Kirk, Darth Vader, Lopan, Superman, every single Power Ranger, Benito Mussolini and the Blue Meanie, Cowboy Curtis.
No,
I
he
said
did
that already.
Wasn't Cowboy Curtis played by Lawrence Fishburne?
Lawrence Fishburne,
That's what I thought.
Pee Wee Herman.
That's weird. How he went from Pee Wee Herman
To the Matrix.
to the Matrix. How do you do that?
Do you think that's area breathing?
Do you think that's area breathing? Anyway, yeah. He also did Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. Have you seen either of those?
I've seen both of those.
Fucking awesome.
With Snake Plissken?
Yes, fucking badass, man.
Yeah. Isn't that where they got the idea for Snake, Solid Snake?
Yeah, actually it is. I saw a video on YouTube once.
Plissken. Isn't
Iroquois
Snake
Plissken.
Plissken.
yeah, that's who's Iroquois?
That was the name that Snake gave Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Interesting. How far was that into the game? Because I've only ever played it.
That was when you
There-
first met Vamp.
There's an article on Wikipedia called "Who is a Jew?"
Wow. Maybe they decided that they needed an article like that after the Hanukkah song.
Yeah.
Sip your gin and tonica and smoke your
Marijuana.
So much funica.
Yeah, but yeah, I was saying I saw a video on YouTube where they took about 10 minutes of Escape from New York and recut the entire thing so that it had music from the first Metal Gear Solid, and it was fucking amazing. I loved it. It was badass. Anyway, y'all want to bitch about Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah.
I don't really. 13?
Yeah, 13.
What?
A lot. I don't like that game. I'm trying to force myself through it, and if there's ever a video game, I've always kind of wanted to do my own, like, video game review show where I do angry reviews of video games, and this might be the one that pushes me to do it. I don't like it at all. Anyway, Square Enix registered a URL called Final Fantasy 13-2, the game. They haven't officially announced anything, but this certainly sounds like they're hinting at a sequel to Final Fantasy 13, which, why? They haven't even finished the other two games that they're going to call Final Fantasy 13, which is Versus 13, which we hardly know anything about, and Ejido 13, which we know even less about. So why are they going forward with a sequel? Maybe because fans bitched and said, hey, your damn game doesn't explain the fucking story, so maybe they need a second game to explain the first game? That's my thought on it. That, or they want to take 3 of the female characters from Final Fantasy 13 and have them form a crappy J-pop band.
If they do that again, I'm going to, like, remove a nut.
From who?
From myself. I don't know why. 25.
You're at genetic disorders now.
I'm getting there.
What causes genetic disorders, Alex?
I'm looking for it, okay?
What did you start with?
The unification of Germany.
That is a tough one.
It's hard to do it
I've
not
gone
looking at
from,
the screen completely.
Astronomical unit to sexual intercourse in I think like 6 jump.
Oh, screw you. I'm on like 4 now.
What the secret is to link it to something that Freud wrote about, because Freud said that everything was sexual.
I was looking for Freud. Was Freud Jewish?
No.
Oh my gosh!
I was trying to find, because at first I went from the unification of Germany.
Instantly funny.
I don't
Well,
know.
that was the
but
second.
that
Step
is.
2 was the Jews in Germany.
Zygmunt. Zygmunt? Does that sound Jewish?
Sigmund. Could be. It might be. I'm not sure. But I was trying to find like a list of like people who left Germany during like the Nazi regime, and I couldn't find Sigmund Freud. But mostly because I'm trying to kind of
I thought
concentrate on
Freud
this.
was in the 1800s.
Freud was like late 1800s until like.
I don't think he was alive during World War II.
Yeah, you might be right.
Oh.
You might be right.
I'm thinking of Einstein.
Anyway, yeah. You want to know what's wrong with Final Fantasy 13? The dialogue is crappy, the story never explains itself, the gameplay is overly simplistic and boring. The path never branches. You're going through a straight line throughout the entire fucking game. It's nuts. And you got these beautiful environments that you can't explore or interact with. There are no towns. Do you get my point?
But it's got a black comedic relief.
Yes, Saz. That guy's actually kind of cool.
He is real cool. And
He's
I think
the only-
he makes you
I
forget
thought,
about
like-
the game being shitty. No, but what you're explaining right now, I never actually played through 13, but what you're explaining now is a lot like 10. It's very linear. It's not actually like, there's not a world map like you get in 7 or anything.
Nope.
Or
It's
6.
it's more linear than 10, and there are no towns like there were in 10.
There were no towns in 10.
Well, there were. I mean, there was like Luca that got destroyed.
There were certain places that you could stop and pick up whatever weapon was newest and, you know, talk to some people, but it didn't feel like a town because there weren't actually options. It was more just like places that you wound up where you didn't have to worry about random battles. And sometimes you did.
So the place with the where you enter the tournament, that didn't feel like a town?
It didn't, because you have to go to the tournament. Like, there's always something you gotta be doing, and if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, then you're just trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. You're never actually, you never actually get a break, is what I'm trying to say.
13 doesn't even have that.
It's just straight through, it's just linear. It's just like, do this, keep doing it, a little longer, okay, the game's over.
It takes you like 5 or 6 hours just to get to the point where you can actually upgrade your character, where the battles actually mean something. Earlier on in the game, all the battles, literally, all they do is transition from one block of cutscenes to the next. That's it. You move along in a straight line, get into a battle, cutscene. That's fucking it. That's all there is to it.
10 had a lot of cutscenes in it.
I'm getting close here.
What are you? It seems like you're actually going further away, Alex. Oh,
reproduction.
It's all over. Oh,
8.
Hold on a second.
I'm on 8. Evolution of sexual reproduction. Oh my gosh. Oh,
He's getting close. He's
mammals. I
You're not
can't
the only
reach the
ones that
keyboard from
interface.
here. Well, yeah, but they're the most interesting.
You should have a scroll wheel.
You might have to do another
Yeah, I
jump
do.
from here.
But sex organs? No, it's too obvious. Male reproduction system.
No, I don't think this
Let's
is
look
gonna
for.
happen.
Okay.
Click on
sex,
ejaculation.
Sexual. No! Spermatophore. Sexual dimorphism. Not going to click on that. Okay, guys, I started on the unification of Germany, and I've been working my way towards sexual intercourse.
So yeah, Final Fantasy 13 sucks and does not need a sequel. It's
Jeez.
just Zaz is a cool character, and that's about as positive I can be about it. It looks beautiful, and Zaz is a cool character, and that's like all I have to. Even the music is forgettable. It's not done by Uematsu.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How long of a game is it? It's like
Like 50 hours.
Penis.
I wouldn't have been able to.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of peni.
Oh, where do you see peni?
Over there.
Those are penis in jars?
Yeah, I guess.
What kind of penis
different-
is
We
that?
have one
It doesn't
topic
specify.
left. We have one topic left.
Yeah, but penis.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously,
come
just
on.
Penis. You're
Many
really
slang
gonna
words and
choose
euphemisms
video
for the
games over
penis. Domestic. Oh, geez, why? What? I can't find it. Reproductive.
Just click on reproductive.
Oh, geez,
Have you been
I
counting?
was already at. This is like 8. This is like step 8.
You need to use Control F.
Sexual reproduction. I was here already. Evolution. Oh, I'm getting irritated here.
What's our
Plant
last topic?
reproduction. What's our last topic, dude?
Okay. Twisted Pixel is pissed at Capcom. Apparently, Capcom made a game for the iPhone platform called Maxplosion, and Twisted Pixel saw this game and said, that is basically a rip-off of our game.
10 steps from the unification of Germany to sexual intercourse. Hey, maybe I can do it in like 7 steps next time. I'll let
You,
that wait for tomorrow while I'm at work.
Anyway,
I'm so used to that picture. Go back and count your steps.
can I finish?
Like-
Can I finish? Please, can I finish?
finish?
Okay,
Can't finish,
what's
can't
the topic?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
They said that Capcom created a game called Maxplosion, which ripped off their game Explosion Man. And they said that although they are pissed about this, they're not going to pursue legal action because they don't have the money or the manpower to do so. And Capcom said they felt very, very sorry for this, basically.
You said manpower.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah.
Manpower is a temp agency.
I haven't seen Maxplosion, but it's still
It has
interesting
a cooler name.
Explosion Man?
Mm-hmm.
I like the name Explosion Man. Do you like
Yeah.
the name?
Yeah, it encompasses the whole style of the game. Like it's supposed to be tacky and sci-fi, like a 50s sci-fi movie.
Yeah, Max Explosion
You just-
sounds like an 80s B movie.
With Explosion Man, all you do is like
Like the 80s.
You Hades?
Terminator came out of the 80s.
Okay, well, not good things came from the 80s.
You know what,
but,
Ian?
What?
D-pad? You don't remember the 80s like I do.
I remember the air.
Okay,
There
fine.
was some bad.
I remember
because you
Devo.
came out of it. D-pad came out of 80s hair.
Yeah, the hair in the 80s was embarrassingly bad, especially on bands
that's
like Nitro.
Well, there was less gravity back then.
Because, I don't know if you ever seen a picture of Nitro, but I think their hair could have been destroyed by a ceiling fan. They were,
I wonder how many steps
they
to get
were
from
a hair,
Nitro.
they were an 80s glam metal band.
Oh,
I remember how many steps to get from Nitro to sexual intercourse.
A band,
Maybe
a glamour band.
two.
Yes,
Yeah.
a glam metal band. Like Poison.
Yeah, that would be probably like 2 steps. In fact, sexual intercourse is probably in
The main article.
the main article.
I farted.
Honestly, the only way that they could ever get chicks with this ridiculous hair is if they put so much goddamn hairspray in it that the women get high and think they're looking at something that actually looks good.
No, that's what was cool
Really?
back then. That's what got you laid back then. It's a weird generation. I mean, it gave us things like Nintendo
Yeah.
and the Power Glove.
Ugh, it's so bad.
And some badass movies.
Yeah, some of the best movies of all time are out of the 70s and 80s.
Star Wars was 80s.
Well, wasn't the first Star Wars like 78?
79, I think.
79.
What about Short Circuit?
That was like 86, I think?
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terminator was out of the 80s.
What about Terminator 2?
Terminator 2 was like 1990. It just barely got out of the 80s. And
1990 was still the 80s. I was there. I seen it.
then, well, it was like at the beginning of a transitional period between the 80s and something a whole lot cooler for hairstyles.
My earliest memories start in like 1991. Well, I remembered things before then, but I started actually being aware of things. Like, I didn't know that it was the 80s during the 80s, even though I was 4 when they ended. It wasn't until like 1991 that I was like, So this is the 90s, and I was born in the 80s. Oh!
Yeah, but you're still a 90s kid. We're
Yeah,
all
more or
90s
less.
kids.
We're 90s
Fucking
kids.
90s kids. We like things like Doug. Doug with-
Rugrats.
and
Wild and
the
crazy kids.
Yes! Yes! Guts!
Respect
Guts!
Yes.
Fucking love Guts.
Guts.
With,
Classic. I like talking to people who don't remember the 90s, like Andrew's little brother, Mary's little brother. That's right, we had Mary on a couple episodes.
yeah, we did.
That was actually kind of cool. Because she's funny when she hangs out with us.
We did have Mary on a couple of episodes. Let's see, what else was awesome from the 90s? That badass Batman cartoon.
Didn't
Batman
watch it
Beyond.
much.
No, that the one
original
before
Batman
that.
Cartoon.
Oh, with
Kevin
Mark
Conroy.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yes,
Who
Mark
was-
Hamill was the Joker. Kevin Conroy was Batman.
Batman.
N64. I still consider
Place.
that to be one of the greatest.
PlayStation.
There you go.
PlayStation. Remember the original PlayStation commercial? PlayStation.
PlayStation. Don't they still do that? Or
I
maybe
don't
I'm
know, I
just,
don't think they do.
maybe I'm just such a '90s child.
'Cause now it's
I can
more like that
still-
boom thing.
Yeah.
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 GAC. My parents, they said that I would
Oh.
never be allowed to own GAC.
Yeah,
And
our
I
parents never
finally
got us
begged
GAC.
them. No, I finally ended up getting it one time. They said, first thing you stain, we're taking it away. And I stained the carpet and they took it away.
My parents got me Floam once. Remember Floam? It's like the little sticky styrofoam beads.
No, but I remember Creepy Crawlers.
Yes!
Creepy Crawlers were awesome.
Yes!
That was a cartoon too for a little while.
There was
remember?
a creepy crawler cartoon. Creepy crawler cartoon.
Yeah. You know what else was awesome?
Hmm.
That fucking X-Men cartoon from the 90s. They had the theme song. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You remember?
Oh yeah, I remember
It's
it.
fucking awesome. It's a badass show.
You mean the one where they're all teenagers, they're all in high school.
I don't remember.
No, I know the one you're talking about.
I don't remember if they
Like
were.
Spike was in it, and Nightcrawler was in it. And
Beast
Weird
was
accent.
in it, and Gambit was in it, and Jubilee was in it.
Far out. I was gonna say something, but memory lane. Oh, you know what was cool?
Freakazoid.
Freakazoid. Earthworm Jim.
Yes.
Jim.
Feed her puppy.
The Tick.
That was creepy. Never actually watched The Tick, honestly.
The Tick was cool. I remember watching The Tick. There was like two
Arthur,
Ticks. There was,
honk if you
love justice. They're sitting there driving in his car, and they're talking about. The Tick is narrating about how all superheroes have like supercars or whatever, and he's sitting there
It's like a
describing the standard features of his car, like seat belts, as if they were super
Right,
abilities or
right.
whatever. And he's like, and a horn, Arthur, honk the horn. No, Arthur, honk if you love justice. It's fucking awesome.
You know what was cool until it got retarded? Pokemon.
That
Pokemon
was cool too.
from like
Was that in the
Pokemon from
90s or was that like 2000?
Pokemon started in like
99.
96.
No.
No. The game
Yeah, it was 96.
out-
It
you
came
were still-
out right when N64 came out.
you were still in elementary school.
I was.
I think I was still in elementary school. We just didn't hear about it until later. But
Red and blue were awesome.
yeah. The games were awesome. The
They
the
came
show
out
was
with
awesome for a little
Sapphire and
while.
Diamond, and that was cool.
Then they came out with
Mhm.
Digimon, and that was supposed to be like the
No.
more
Digimon
plot
is
Digimon-
completely
Digimon,
different
here's
animal,
another one,
literally.
Tamagotchis.
I remember Tamagotchis. I had a Tamagotchi.
They had
My
these
math teacher
little.
had one.
They had Digimon. You could link them up and fight them.
Yeah.
They had this
yeah.
other one where you just have a fighter, just like this awesome ass dude, and you just like make him lift weights and shit, and make him eat raw meat and bang women and stuff to get his testosterone up, and then you could link them up and fight them with each other. I was training my guy like no tomorrow. My mom was like, "Get that thing away! You need to do your homework." There's another
No.
thing from the 90s.
Not everything from the
Yeah,
90s. Not
yeah.
everything from the 90s was golden. Though.
No.
Beady Babies.
Hey, I collected Beanie
I got a
Babies.
Beanie Baby collection. I had a couple rare ones. I thought
Pogs.
Pogs.
Hogs were in the 90s?
Yeah. Remember Alf?
I thought...
Well, now he's back in Pog form.
You know what, when I did collect Hogs, but...
We got him Happy Meals.
Yeah, but just like the way people talked about them, I just assumed that it was something that's been around forever, like
Yeah.
since the 70s.
Yeah, because it wasn't like, oh, it's a new thing, Pogs. It was more like, oh, what, Pogs? You never heard of Pogs?
Yeah, Hogs.
It sounded like an
incredibly
old
simple
thing.
and...
They were fun,
What do
though.
you
I
do?
liked
Oh, you
playing
actually
Pogs.
played Pogs?
Yes, I
I
did.
never once played Pogs. I never tried.
Or you have, where you stack them and then you have all the different kinds of slammers. Remember the slammers for Pogs?
Yeah, I had some
Remember
a medium weight
Beyblade?
slammer and a heavy slammer.
Remember Beyblade?
That was a
That was this decade. Well, that was this previous decade.
Yeah, now everything's a Beyblade.
Bakugan.
I am walking extremely slow down the stairs
Because
Yu-Gi-Oh! Freaking Yu-Gi-Oh!
Fucking sick.
ruined this last decade. I remember when Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out, we got a VHS tape in the mail. You remember that?
Nobody, but nobody fucks with the hair.
I think Nitro said that at one point. Or Tommy Lee.
Stuff.
Was that fucking porno with Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson from the 90s?
I wouldn't know.
Or was that from
Back then.
early 2000, 2001? But I'm just curious because I heard about it in like 2000 or something. And that might have been from the 90s. I've never actually seen the fucking thing. Can you believe that?
So Pokemon.
I've just heard about it.
Never seen the Paris Hilton.
Because I never had an urge to see
Me neither.
Tommy Lee's wang. You know?
Especially because, like, you know who it is. You know, like, you've seen him in so many normal roles that, like, it would just ruin.
Just like, yeah, that's the fucking drummer for Motley Crue. It's the drummer for Motley Crue.
I thought he was an actor, honestly.
Well, he's probably done some acting. Probably some bad acting, but he's probably done some acting.
So did I.
Oh, man. You know what else was awesome in the 90s? Originally started in the 80s, but was still awesome in the 90s? Ninja Turtles.
Of course.
Amen.
That lasted till 96. Did you know that?
I remember people talking about it. I wasn't into it at the time because people used to talk about it when I was in preschool in the 80s. And I was like, oh, well, Ninja Turtles, well, that's something that other people like, so that's not something that I like. I was that much of a rebel without a cause.
See, I figured that would be something that you would be all about because anthropomorphic turtles and anthropomorphic rat.
Thanks.
I'm not trying to offend you, but you said
I
that
am
you
embarrassed.
watched.
That's true, yeah, I never got
You
into
like
it.
a lot of anthropomorphic shows as a kid.
I always did.
So
I
I
never
thought
got
that
into
Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocko's Modern Life. I almost never got into
I
cartoons.
honestly wasn't
Characters.
trying to insult.
People
When did
were
they
weird.
start making Kinects?
That had to have been in the 90s.
Was it the 90s? Yeah, because I know that Legos were around since like forever.
Legos are amazing. Damn it!
No, I was a Kinect
I
person.
fucking had Lego. I fucking had Lego sets with like small electronic
Yeah.
engines and
Yeah.
shit.
I know.
And you build like cars and Legos
Uh-huh.
were amazing.
Yeah, I would sit up there for hours just making shit and playing with them. I had a little city. I made like a whole little city and had like background stories and everything, and I was like,
I remember that. You had this freaking huge.
yeah, it was really cool. There were like little secret compartments in it and shit. I put a lot of time into that.
Awesome. What was the 90s thing that was like Legos but like bigger? Was that building blocks?
Duplo?
I don't remember. Angry Joe mentioned it in one of his reviews. And he was,
Angry Joe show.
yeah, I fucking like the Angry Joe show. And it was a review where he was comparing Fable 2 with Fallout 3. And he said Fallout 3 was Legos. And and then Fable 2 was whatever the fuck I'm trying to think of. And he's like, see, Legos, badass. This other thing, kind of lame. Legos, which is Fallout 3. Badass! He hated. He made a list of the top 32 reasons why Fable 3 sucks. 32. That's a lot of fucking reasons. Yeah, we are going over. Look at this. We're at almost an hour 9. So we need to go.
It's gonna mean nothing once it's edited, though, because
yeah, we need to go. So this has been another edition of Press the Action Button podcast. Once again, with the greatness that is D-Pad joining us. Always glad to have you here, D-Pad. Say goodbye to the people.
Don't get eliminated.
Yeah, that's a great thing for us, okay?
Eliminate! I fucking love MXC.
Because I'm just not trying to come up with things that were... Because we all know of things that were definitely 80s. And we only recently started thinking of things that were definitely 90s. Now I'm trying to think of things that were definitely 2000s.
PlayStation.
Yeah, because it's the teens now, and it's like MXC.
It's all technology.
Family Guy.
A Family Guy
AOL.
Vastly inferior to The Simpsons.
Or no. Freaking AOL.
It's all
no,
computer
talking
stuff.
about- Yeah, it's like eBay.
What's this generation gonna bring? Holy
teens,
cow.
Yeah. I was like depressed for a little while about like getting that high up in years, and now that it's the 20 teens, I'm like really stoked because I'm like, what's this generation going to be like? Is it going to be like another 60s, you know, like full of like turmoil
Hippies?
but still like really memorable?
Hippies?
No, that was the 90s.
The 60s was so full of hippies.
Madonna, ICP.
Sucks balls. Anyway,
Fucking
yeah.
miracles all up in this bitch.
If I ever meet one of the two members of ICP, I think I'm gonna punch him in the face.
No, I'm gonna find like a piercing on his face and just stick a magnet to it. And be like, how the fuck does that work, man? Motherfucking magnets.
Motherfucking magnets and shit. Oh, we need to make sure you leave with your PlayStation 2, which is over there.
Speaking of 2000s,
No, you guys can hold on to it.
dude, we
We
have
don't.
3 of them.
We've got
in this
3 of
house.
them now. We don't need it. It's yours. You can have it
Just
back.
go stick it in the back of your Volkswagen Cabrio. Be old bourgeois.
Cabrio.
Go move back in with your parents.
You know,
Hey, I'm glad he's moved back with his parents because he lives a lot closer and we'll be able to hang out with him more often.
I wouldn't mind living there again.
Anyway, you need to say goodbye. Because we're at 1 hour and 11 minutes.
Okay, bye.
This is Joystick signing off of another edition of Press the Action Button. We will talk to you guys next week.